Taking your client's girth measurements is a really great way of assessing their progress, but it can be quite intrusive. So I'm going to show you guys through a couple of little things I'd like you to consider to make the whole process a little bit more professional. So number one, if you've got a female client, keep in mind that they might be wearing a sports bra, which flattens the breast. They might be wearing a push-up bra, which pushes the breast up. Or they might have a breast augmentation, which changes the shape entirely. So the point of the chest measurement is to make sure it's the same each time. So to combat this, instead of taking the measurement from the nipple line, I actually like to elevate it and go just underneath the armpit. So I'll show with Michelle. She can just turn slightly. And I always take the measurement. Sorry, Michelle, I've just got you on the tape there. If I get her to elevate the arms like this, I always stand at the back of my client. So I'm not in her personal space. I take the tape measure around to the back, get her to drop the arms down. And just while I'm here as well, make sure your client wears the same clothing all the time. Make sure the client has flat clothing too. So if you notice any creases, straighten them out before getting the reading. So while she's in this position, you can see the tape measure, it's actually sitting above the breast entirely. So the muscle of the chest or the pec, it never changes. Skin or soft tissue or breast implants, they do change. They're going to drop over time with gravity. So what I do is I take my fingers around the back here. I get Michelle to breathe in. So take a big breath in, and then as she's breathing out, I get the smallest reading. So I take it there. Now, what you'll tend to find is people that are wanting to lose weight like to hear a smaller reading, so I take it on the breath out. If your client is a young guy, for example, and he wants to feel really confident and as if he's getting bigger, you can actually take all the readings on the breath in. So there's different tactics that you can use to build confidence within your client that I think is really important. At the end of the day, you want to make them feel good. So the other reading, if we work our way down, is around the waist. Now, a lot of your clients that you will see may have come to you because they're extremely overweight. So how can you make this measurement feel less intrusive? Well, for one, if they've got a lot of weight around their midsection and you're having to grab and you're touching them like this, it's probably best to leave it out entirely rather than put them through the embarrassment of having to take the measurement in the first place. Alternatively, you can come round to the front, show the client exactly where they're meant to hold the tape measure, get them to put the tape measure on their own body like this, and then you carry it around instead of trying to lasso it and catch it, which is really embarrassing. So from there, that's another thing you can do. Thanks, Michelle. Again, when you're taking the reading, if I can just get you to stand to the front, and I'll just show from the front. If you're taking the reading, I like to gently place the tape measure on the skin like that, and I take the reading there. You will notice some trainers, their technique is they put 2 fingers underneath and they put the tape measure over the top. It doesn't really matter what technique you use as long as it's always the same every time you do it. Maybe make a note. So for example, if Michelle goes to another trainer and you've used 2 fingers underneath the tape as your style, make sure that the other trainer knows that so that they're not going to freak out if they've just suddenly gained an extra 2 centimeters based on your 2 fingers rather than the tape measure being flat. A couple of other things that you might like to try is if I get Michelle on the side like this, there's a measurement that goes around the hips. So again, when I'm taking the hip measurement or anything where I'm having to kneel down and you're in the client's crutch area, it's much more professional to be at the side of the client rather than directly behind. If you're a guy and you've got a female client, a bit creepy. And as you'll see, hands down. If I'm at the front, female personal trainer, male client, again, a little bit inappropriate. So always stand off to the side. So there are a couple of things that I really like to do when I'm taking the girth measurements for my client.